Definitely a good old throwback, okay? But I'm gonna close out here, guys. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you have not subscribed. Don't forget, Friday, February 14th is the last day to book your love reading for half off. Okay, so thank you guys for watching.
There's always the sun. Always, always, always.
Let's go through red flags first. I'm a little bit of a germaphobe, so a big red flag if somebody is dirty. Oh, that's true. If she don't look presentable and clean and like she got good hygiene, gotta go. My grandmother was like, "Don't bring all the dirty girl, gotta go." And I'm big on odors too, so if you don't have like a natural good smell, huge balance got to be right. Hygiene is important, y'all. What up, y'all? I'm so excited. I'm Jeremy. This is Vontae with me, the great
Always the sun.
Pastor Rod, who's pastor here at
Always the
Trinity
sun.
Church. Pastor Tim.
Always the
And
sun.
we are in a series called Heart Over Hype. And what I want to talk about first before we jump in.
Always the
talking about one of the big things we're talking about is red flags and green flags in relationships. Like, what are big red flags when you're dating? What are big green flags when you look for it? Before we do, I think I would love, even Rod as a youth pastor, with this, is there's this need. You got young guys and young girls that are thirsty. They want to be relationships. They want to be in those places.
Morning.
What would you say? Because I feel like the pinnacle sometimes in
subjects. In addition to also on the biological work,
Always, always the sun.
Travis Kelce, fullback Tears. You can see the videos on the mail if you want to look at more. And of course, the wonderful halftime show was slammed as the worst halftime show ever. So again, it was Becky I, reversed totally. And
Morning. Happy Valentine's.
A real paedophile. So, we can sum up. One fans are blaming Jay-Z, that's the co-conspirator with Diddy in the Diddy tapes. That's why Beyonce's dropped his name. With Kanye attacking Taylor, I think that's the big shoulder double, but one never knows. They might wheel them out of the psychiatric facility to host. And here, of course, we got the love fest between Trump and Kansas City Chief Lyman. He's huge. Trump's a big man, but that guy's massive. And of course, the Trump government promoting the Secret Service. So, one can see, and of course, bring big blonde girl's son, because she's got children. She's got a childless cat lady that supports losers like the Democrats. See all the hidden semiotic messages. It's wonderful. The green body language, Taylor Swift. The new power couple, the same. The Taylor Kelce power couple have been dethroned by Jalen Hurts with fiance Bree Burrows, the Philadelphia quarterback that brought the first, I think, Super Bowl win of of Philly's history. So, you can see what Philadelphia fans went berserk. So we've got this new Stargate plan of the Americans, $500 billion, and just by chance, it has exactly the same name as Project Stargate from the Defense Intelligence Agency. Project Stargate 1977 to 1995 was operated under the Defense Department to investigate the possibility to replicate and control the use of human psychic phenomena and to gather information from targets anywhere in the world. Many other programs were operating under Project Stargate, i.e. psycho-energetic, remote viewing, etc. Although it has since shut down, it is widely speculated that some programs from that era persist to this day. And this came after MK Ultra was allegedly shut down, which of course is torture, drugging, poison, electroshock, directed energy to manipulate the mental state and brain functions of its subjects, in addition to involving biological warfare. The research included colleges, hospitals, prisons, and pharmaceutical companies. So, same name as this $500 billion project that's now being unveiled.
So what's curious about this, so children I can understand because they're more suggestive. Women I can understand because we're more suggestive. We're more emotional, we're, more easily manipulated sometimes, not always, but I can sort of understand that. Men are generally more logical, women are more emotional. The left-handed gay men thing, I mean, that's very specific. Maybe gay men are more emotional, but specifically left-handed ones. So I'm sure there's something in the brain there, or or whatever it may be. But the point is, they are doing this now. This sort of psycho-energetic remote viewing everything. They're doing it with the UFO community right now, and one only needs to watch, to reference Mirage Man to see how this community has been manipulated over the decades to achieve the great goal of, the aliens are coming, so let's create a one world government.
Yes, I mean, you said a lot there, and it's been going on for a long time. When you research also the origin of Project Stargate and the prime mover for why it came into being, the leadership were citing because a lot of this was the remnants of after post-war World War II, what the Nazis were looking for under Heinrich Himmler when he was scouring the planet for the same thing. They were looking for relics, such a science movie. They were looking for relics that had psychic abilities. And when they captured, he had all the stuff buried within his own compound. And when they went to his compound, the U.S. Army, they found all the relics that he had kept for himself that claimed to have some kind of psychic abilities, and they basically were trying to go through the relics and replicate what he was working on, basically. But as before Project Stargate, there was Project MK Ultra, and of course this is a infamous program that was denounced for its abuse of power by the CIA and its violation of individual rights with its disregard for consent and its corrosive impact on society at large. It used numerous methods of torture, drugging, poison, electroshock, and directed energy to manipulate the mental states and brain functions of its subjects. In addition to involving U.S. Army biological warfare laboratories, the research included colleges, hospitals, prisons, and pharmaceutical companies. And all of this was brought to light when the land project was classified in 1976. One of the investigations of the Church Committee report that revealed that it wasn't just used for interrogation, but for harassment. The information and the technology was gathered to actually target people in society, and also as we see to this day, harassment, discrediting, and disabling purposes. So this is the legacy of this angle where you're dealing with manipulating the mind and you're using advanced technology to do it. in addition to everything else, poisons, drugs, all of it. It's like a gambit.
And with what's going on now, there's no mistake with names because Oracle sees the future, Stargate is a portal, and OpenAI is the thing that gets to open the portal.
And of course, look at the dates, Maria. We're looking at Project MK from 1953 to 1977, Project Stargate from 1977 to 1995. It's just like this continuation, taking one form to another.
Well, if I can just, I can't bring it up right now, but I'll let people know, we're looking at all the way back to 1975, memorandum for the record, Project.
Morning.
So, this was, CIA documents talking about the, purpose of determining the direction and status of design of the Oracle mass storage
Just talking about
system.
Project
All the way
Stargate.
back there. The first customer
MK
of
Ultra.
Oracle, Larry Ellison's Oracle, was the CIA. And then when, it's really interesting, Elon Musk was talking about some of these Nazi scientists. Elon Musk just posted yesterday. How can this be real in response to someone saying the 1953 book Mars project by famous rocket scientist who was a Nazi scientist, Werner von Braun, says the leader of Mars shall be called Elon. Someone pulled the original German manuscript out of the archives to the myth, only to confirm that von Braun did indeed predict that he would be called Elon. Now, Elon retweets that and says, how could this be real? And people are reminding him in the comments, well, your own dad says that he named you after this character in this book. So, you're not aware of where your name came from? Come on, this is a real.
Come on.
So a little bit more on the brain machine.
Who have we got here? I wonder.
This is a clip from Karen Watson said she, documentary that she did, where she said, interestingly enough, the person they chose to run Operation Warp Speed was an expert on a general brain machine interface. And she's talking about Montsev, who's the former head of vaccines at GlaxoSmithKline. That's a picture of him. And this is something that he was saying, that he quoted back at the time, vaccine recipients would be monitored for 24 months after the first dose using a pharmacovigilance system. And we'll talk more about that. So just bringing that to people's memory about what has already been said. Now, this article on the right here.
Very
This is brand
interesting.
new from January 24th, 2025.
Pharmacovigilance system.
One of the Stargate companies.
Vaccine recipients would be monitored 24 months after the first dose using a pharmacovigilance system.
Talks about the Japanese multinational investment holdings firm SoftBank
Every
combines
time
stem
I
cells
see
tissue
you,
with tech to produce better AI. What does that mean? The company is already engaged in joint research with the University of Tokyo on a project with aims for practical application around 2050. SoftBank's researchers believe cultured brain cells could reduce the power required for artificial intelligence and heighten its computational abilities.
Of course, when you read these statements, I mean, you can kind of try to form a picture in your head. What does that look like? How do brain cells produce the power for artificial intelligence? Is there technology going to be put into the brain? Also, what we also notice too is when there's a publication talking about to prepare for 2050, often that's because you look down the future to something that's probably happening today.
And I wanted to bring this article, it's an older article again, to everybody's remembrance that it was Oracle and Google that got the data collection contracts during COVID. So they did data collection on the nanotech recipients, or the people that received the vaccine. Here it is, Montsev, the official head of Operation Warp Speed, told Wall Street Journal last week that all Warp Speed vaccine recipients in the US will be monitored by incredibly precise tracking systems. That's that pharmacovigilance system. So we remember this because now here comes Oracle making this gigantic database, right? And again, let's remind it. They started building that in
Decades.
when they started building the first Stargate site, they started building two. Right, and they found on that. And it's not gonna be finished until mid-2026. So far, the number of jobs created is 26 jobs.
Oh, they're probably all H1Bs.
COVID Wireless Body Area Network, COV-WABAN.
So, and this is just to remind everybody, talking about the surveillance system and collecting everybody's data that's been injected. This was the COV-WBAN, or the COVID Wireless Body Area Network. That was a
COV-WBAN.
project.
Project Salus.
Body Area Network for COVID.
Salus.
Trace through COVID.
Project
There's something
Salus.
called Project Salus, which is a Pentagon effort that provides predictive logistic tools for COVID-19 response. So some of the paperwork there, just reminding everybody of what we've already covered in the past. And now I wanted to explain what we're seeing with movements like Facebook saying we're gonna get rid of the fact checkers and, the narrative that X is a free speech platform, right? So this is a tweet that I put out, or a post on X, where I said, let me be clear to those who might be confused. When these third-party platforms implement censorship, they lost the real data that they now need to implement their AI and surveillance. They desperately need this data in order to know how to track and trace you, manipulate you, and harass you. People stopped posting their thoughts because they were censored. And the overseers of the New World Order were no longer able to predict the public's reactions to whatever new enslavement agenda they were trying to push. This is why the current AI is so flawed and completely out of touch with reality. They realize this, that now they're backpedaling, trying to get a greater population to re-engage on their platforms.
Can I offer another possibility here?
Yeah.
Their AI that they've released is purposely flawed so that people will be encouraged, because I just had this conversation yesterday with someone there saying you just have to engage with it more, input more so that we train it. And my response to that is, I think people need to consider, I'm reading off my tweet, I think people need to consider the fact that it has bias in the first place is concerning, first and foremost. Why does it have bias? The fact that it has it is a problem, right? So I release something with bias and I ask you to retrain it. Well, why didn't you just release it without that bias in the first place? Why is it there? But you want me to engage with it so that I train it and get it to think better. Okay, so any reprogramming, quote unquote, that they might try to do to it, as in the user, is actually just a trap to capture dissidents for pre-crime purposes later. So they release a faulty thing that has, 6 hands, 7 fingers or whatever, to make you think, oh, it's just faulty, it needs our help. Why are we building the beast system?
So you might have thought, we're going from the Super Bowl and Taylor Swift to Z Media, talking about all the nanotech that's being put into people and monitoring them, and Oracle and Google and brain cells powering AI. And of course, there's no bearing on Taylor Swift, does it? I bear to differ. It's in a video where Taylor's brain cells are being sucked of energy to power AI. It's in the video.
Every time I see a newborn baby
US
cry,
government spending
you're such a thief.
This new
Watching
Stargate
cry.
program. So one can see, she says in the anti-hero video, she puts everything in code. This is not particularly coded, is it? Once you understand that all the AI network not only monitors the nanotech in people, but actually sucks out energy from them to power the AI. To power the AI for what? Because, of course, you plug the AI into the electric grid, it uses 3 times the power of a Google search engine, which is also on that really long interview we've showed. No, they're sucking out scalar, torsion fields, and leptonics, which are used for psychic warfare. And Sochivanov explained that You can give psychic powers to people from a psychic. You can get rid of them from a hater, a cynic, or you can raise the group to the same power level as the most powerful. So that would mean then have 6 billion nanotechs all raised to the most powerful
Good morning.
psychic on the planet.
Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you got some cards.
Taylor Swift.
I didn't.
And then, of course, the AI would have
I
6
did, but
billion
they pushed me,
different
but still,
wetware
I definitely won't.
projectors for the Stargate program. It's all there for psychoenergetics, remote viewing, remote influencing, remote manipulation, which according to David Morehouse is their acronym for ceasing life function, or as I call it, total life dysfunction in the target. So as you can see, the Americans spending $500 billion on their psychic warfare
Every
program
time I
called
see you,
Stargate. Project Stargate, which is a continuation from 95, when the Stargate program ended officially, to the Project Stargate, which has been revived, but has been secret underground and involves nanotech and the nanotech device is sucking out the energy for psychic warfare to be used by AI and its masters. Elon, the Emperor of Mars, for psychic warfare to bring in the one world government run by the Rothschilds. And there, of course, we've got this character disconnecting her from being bled and ending the program. There he is, on the blower. So one can see that the Super Bowl, which was supposed to be a huge energy collector, huge worship ritual on a grand scale involving hundreds of millions of people, well, billions worldwide. All of the nanotech 6 million sucked of energy was supposed to provide a huge, massive power boost to Taylor Swift and the winning team, which of course was guaranteed with the Chiefs, with all the rigged referees, and you can look up reports of bogus calls at the Super Bowl, but the Philadelphia Eagles still won, and they absolutely trashed the Kansas City Chiefs, which shows, of course, the American psychic warfare program has not only failed, but been reversed. And that all of the 6 billion connected to Oracle and the AI cyber Satan, that is being used for the one world government installation by psychic warfare, has been reversed. And instead of this program bringing about the one world government ruled by the Rothschilds, it's destroyed the one world government ruled by the Rothschilds and powered up the dissidents who do not want a one world government ruled by the Rothschilds with people living in 15-minute cities and eating insects and drinking maggot milk and having their free clothing items a year and being unable to travel more than 1,500 kilometers a year and being euthanized when they're of no use to the government, and of course spending all their time on Meta, so they're in the AI simulation, so their energy's being drained out with their observation, locked in the remote sensing phase because they're into goggle box mode, but in the matrix, so they simply become wetware brain cells to power the AI, which was talked about on the Z Media with T-Bomb, etc. So one can see this was vital to the one world government.
Southeast
Morning.
grid lines, and I live in the southwest part of town on Street 32. We drive down the highway, speed limit 65, no passing lane. My point is that people took this enough seriously, not just in Russia, but the US. Okay, so this is nonsense. Don't blame me. We spent taxpayer money on it. That wasn't my decision to do that. People like to kind of paint me with a broad brush and say, well, it's a bunch of hooey. That wasn't my decision to do that. I had nothing. Those decisions were made by very, very senior people that thought it was worth investing in, right? So, maybe the execution could have been better. I don't know, but the bottom line is that there is enough there to say, hey, maybe we should look into this a little bit, right? Maybe there's something there. But again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, I don't know. But if someone comes up to you and says, hey, Julie, I have this weird feeling that you were a BMXer as a kid, you like bikes and wanted to BMX riding and maybe do some racing. And I have this clear image of you doing X, Y, and Z. If that's information that only you know, you've never told me or anybody else about that, right? Then you guys say, oh, that's interesting. How would you know that? And what did you see? Is there any accuracy there, right? I guess the bottom line for me is that I will try to keep an open mind to everything. And there's a whole lot of mystery behind the human being, right? And if you look at whether genetically or anything else, we are very unique. And I personally believe, we get into the discussion of what people consider paranormal. I think everything in science is technically paranormal until it becomes normal. Meaning, a cell phone here, all the things that we have, we take for granted, right? The technology we use today, at some point in time, we're considered very paranormal. And I think it's really our lack of understanding and our bias to.
Ciao, happy Valentines.